Min-jae's hand was already on the doorknob when their daughter's scream shattered the air. He froze, didn't turn around, his shoulders tensed like he'd been shot. "Daddy, don't go, please!" 3-year-old Hana sobbed, her tiny fists clutching at his designer slacks. He peeled her fingers away, gentle but firm. Cold. "Min-jae," I whispered, my voice breaking on his name. "Look at me. Just look at me." He didn't. God, when did he stop looking at me? Hana collapsed between us, her cries echoing off the marble floors of our penthouse, the home we'd built together, the life we'd created. I watched his jaw clench, that familiar muscle twitching near his temple, the same spot I used to kiss when he couldn't sleep. She's not mine. Everything went silent. Even Hana's sobs seemed to fade into white noise. What? The word barely made it past my lips. He finally turned. Those dark eyes, the ones that used to look at me like I was his entire universe, were empty. The DNA test came back yesterday. Hana isn't my biological daughter. His voice was flat, detached, like he was discussing a business transaction. "Which means you've been lying to me for 4 years, Imani." "That's not... I never..." My knees buckled. The room tilted. "I want you both out by tonight." He opened the door. "My lawyer will contact you about the divorce." The door clicked shut. Our daughter screamed, and I realized I couldn't breathe. I didn't remember falling. One moment I was standing, the next I was on the floor with Hana in my arms, both of us sobbing. The sun was setting through the floor-to-ceiling windows, painting our broken family in shades of orange and red. Ironic. Our whole world was burning. "Mommy, why did Daddy leave?" Hana hiccuped against my chest, her tears soaking through my silk blouse. "I don't know, baby, I don't know." But that was a lie. I knew exactly why. Someone had poisoned him against us, against me, because that DNA test was impossible. Min-jae was Hana's father. He had to be, unless... My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Told you I'd destroy you. Enjoy your new life, sister. Jiwon." Jiwon, Min-jae's ex-fiancée, the woman he'd left at the altar for me 4 years ago. My hands shook so badly I dropped the phone. It clattered against the marble, the screen cracking, just like everything else in my life. 3 years ago, I wasn't supposed to be at Club Azure that night. My best friend Tasha had dragged me out, insisting I needed to stop being such a workaholic and live a little. I'd just landed my dream job as a cultural attaché at the Korean embassy in New York. I was exhausted, overwhelmed, and definitely not looking for romance. "Girl, you need a drink and possibly a man," Tasha said, pushing a Cosmopolitan into my hands. "When's the last time you even talked to someone who wasn't about work?" "Last Tuesday. I ordered takeout." "That doesn't count, Imani." She rolled her eyes, her braids swinging. "I'm talking about real human connection. The kind that might lead to..." "Don't finish that sentence." She grinned. "I was going to say happiness, but okay, sis." The club was packed. Too many bodies, too much cologne, bass, thumping so hard it rattled my ribcage. I hated it immediately. But then I saw him. He sat in the VIP section, surrounded by men in expensive suits, but somehow separate. Alone in a crowd. He had this presence, dangerous and magnetic. Sharp jawline, dark eyes that seemed to see everything, black hair styled perfectly. He was watching the crowd like a predator studying prey, until his eyes landed on me. Everything else disappeared. "Oh, damn," Tasha whispered. "That man is fine, and he's looking at you like you're dessert. Stop it." But my heart was pounding. He stood, started walking toward us. The crowd literally parted for him. People moved without even realizing it, like he commanded space itself. "Ladies," his voice was deep, accented. Korean, but his English was perfect. "I'm Min-jae." "Imani," I said, suddenly forgetting every other word in existence. "Beautiful name." He smiled, just barely, a hint of warmth in those cold eyes. "It means faith, doesn't it? Swahili?" I blinked. You? How do you know that? I make it my business to know beautiful things. He extended his hand. Dance with me? Tasha practically shoved me forward. She'd love to. His hand was warm, calloused, strong. He led me onto the dance floor, and the moment his other hand settled on my waist, I forgot how to breathe. We moved together like we'd done this 1,000 times before. His thumb traced small circles on my lower back, sending electricity up my spine. You're nervous, he murmured against my ear. I'm not. My voice cracked. Betrayed me. He chuckled. The sound did things to me. Liar, your pulse is racing. His fingers pressed against my wrist. Right here. I can feel it. Maybe you make me nervous. Good. He pulled back slightly, those dark eyes intense. You should be nervous. I'm not a good man, Imani. Then why am I still dancing with you? Because you're curious and brave, and you see something in me that no one else does. His jaw clenched. Something I'm not sure exists anymore. What's that? The possibility of being more than what I was born to be. I should have asked what he meant, should have demanded answers, but instead, I kissed him. Right there on that dance floor, surrounded by strangers, I kissed this dangerous, beautiful man who looked at me like I was salvation. He kissed me back like I was air, and he was drowning. Come home with me, he whispered against my lips. I don't even know you. You know enough. His forehead pressed against mine. You know I'm trouble. You know I want you. You know this is probably a mistake. He paused. And you're going to say yes anyway. He was right. That night changed everything. He wasn't just dangerous. He was the heir to one of Korea's most powerful crime families. The kind of man my parents had warned me about. The kind of man who destroyed lives without blinking. But with me, he was gentle, vulnerable, real. I've never brought anyone here, he said, standing in his penthouse as dawn broke over the city. No one sees this side of me. Why me? Because when you look at me, you don't see the monster. He cupped my face, his thumb brushing my cheekbone. You see, Minjai, Minjai. I fell in love with him that morning, completely, irrevocably, stupidly. 3 months later, he proposed on the Brooklyn Bridge at sunset, dropping to one knee while tourists cheered and took photos. Marry me, Imani. Be my faith, my hope, my everything. I said yes through tears. We got married 2 weeks later at City Hall. Just us, Tasha, and his right-hand man Sung-ho as witnesses. Small, intimate, perfect. You're stuck with me now, I teased as we signed the papers. Thank God, he murmured, kissing me hard enough to make the clerk blush. I'm never letting you go, Imani, never. Never lasted exactly 3 years and 8 months. Present day. Imani, open this damn door right now. Tasha's voice cut through my fog. I'd been sitting on the floor for how long? An hour? 3? The sun was gone now. Hana had cried herself to sleep in my arms. I stumbled to the door, unlocked it. Tasha took one look at me and gasped. Oh, honey, oh no, what happened? He left. My voice sounded hollow, strange. He thinks Hana isn't his. He wants a divorce. What? Tasha's eyes went wide. That's insane. Hana looks exactly like him. Same eyes, same stubborn chin, same... Jiwon faked a DNA test. I laid Hana gently on the couch, covering her with a blanket. She texted me, basically admitted it. That psychotic bitch. Tasha started pacing, her heels clicking violently against the marble. We need to get a real test. We need to prove... He won't listen. I sank onto the couch, staring at nothing. You didn't see his eyes, Tash. He's done with me. With us. After everything you've been through? After how much he loves you? She crouched in front of me, gripping my shoulders. No, absolutely not. We're gonna fix this. How? He won't even look at me. Then we make him look. Her jaw set in that stubborn way that meant she had a plan, probably a terrible one. But first, you need to get out of this apartment. You can stay with me. I don't want to burden... Girl, shut up. She started pulling me to my feet. You're my sister. Your burden is my burden. Now pack some bags for you and Hana. We're leaving. 2 weeks crawled by like years. I'd called Minjai 17 times, texted 43 times. Every message went unanswered. Every call went to voicemail. His lawyer sent divorce papers. I didn't sign them. Hana kept asking for Daddy. Each time she did, a piece of me died. I'd taken leave from work, couldn't focus, could barely eat. Tasha force-fed me soup and wine, sometimes at the same time. You gotta stay strong, sis, for Hana. But I was breaking, shattering into pieces too small to put back together. Then on a rainy Thursday night, everything changed. I was walking back to Tasha's apartment from the corner store, Hana's hand in mine, umbrella barely keeping us dry. The streets were empty, dark. That survival instinct I developed as Min Jae's wife started screaming. Something's wrong. 3 men stepped out of the alley ahead, blocked our path. Imani Park. The one in front smiled, gold tooth, scar across his cheek. Or should I say Imani Williams? Heard you got downgraded. My blood turned to ice. I recognized him, one of the rival gang's enforcers, the Russians who'd been trying to move in on Min Jae's territory. Walk away, I said, keeping my voice steady. I'm not involved in that life anymore. But you were? And you know things. He stepped closer. Things worth a lot of money to the right people. Mommy, I'm scared, Hana whimpered. It's okay, baby. I backed up slowly, pulling her behind me. We're going to be fine. We just want to talk, Goldtooth said. You come with us, tell us what you know about Park's operations, and we let you and the kid go. Easy. I said, walk away. He lunged. I turned to run and slammed into a solid chest. Min Jae. He appeared like a ghost, rainwater streaming down his face, eyes absolutely feral. In one fluid motion, he shoved me and Hana behind him and caught Goldtooth's fist mid-swing. Touch my wife, Min Jae said, his voice deadly quiet, and I'll bury you alive. She ain't your wife no more, Park. Heard you threw her out. You heard wrong. The crack of breaking bone echoed down the street. Goldtooth screamed. Min Jae hadn't even blinked. She'll always be mine. What happened next was brutal, swift, violent. Min Jae moved like death itself, every punch calculated, every kick devastating. 2 of the men went down within seconds. The third pulled a knife. Minja, I screamed. He caught the man's wrist, twisted, drove his elbow into his face. The knife clattered to the ground. Tell Volkov if he comes near my family again, I'll start a war he can't finish. The men scrambled away, limping and cursing. Minjai stood there breathing hard, rain mixing with blood on his knuckles. Slowly, he turned to face us. His eyes found Hana first, then me. Are you hurt? His voice was rough, desperate. We're fine, I whispered. Minjai, what are you? I've had you followed since you left. He looked away, jaw clenched. Protection detail. I had to make sure you were safe. You... what? Tears mixed with rain on my face. You wouldn't answer my calls. You sent divorce papers. But you had us followed? I had to keep you safe, he exploded, running his hands through his wet hair. Even if I couldn't, even if we can't... He stopped. Broke. Fuck. Hana burst into tears. Daddy! She ran to him. He caught her automatically, lifting her into his arms. She buried her face in his neck, sobbing. I missed you, Daddy. Why did you leave? His eyes closed. Pain rippled across his face. I'm sorry, baby girl. Daddy was... confused. Confused about what? I stepped closer, anger and relief warring inside me. Confused about your daughter. About me? About faking a DNA test to get rid of us? His head snapped up. I didn't fake anything. Jiwon texted me. She admitted she set us up. What? The word came out strangled. Show me. I pulled out my phone with shaking hands, found the message. He read it once, twice. The The color drained from his face. "I'm going to kill her," he said softly, calmly, which made it more terrifying. "I'm going to actually fucking kill her. Min-jae, she used a lab tech we have on payroll, someone I trusted." He was spiraling. I could see it. "She faked the results, made me believe, made me think you'd—" He looked at me, and for the first time in 2 weeks, really looked at me. "Oh God, Imani, what have I done?" "You walked away," I said, my voice breaking. "You looked at your daughter and walked away. I thought she wasn't mine. I thought you'd—" He swallowed hard. "My father drilled it into me my whole life. Trust no one. Everyone wants something. Everyone lies." When I saw that test, it confirmed every fear I've ever had. "Even about me? Especially about you," he shouted, then caught himself, lowered his voice. "Because you're the only one who can destroy me, Imani. You're the only person I've ever loved enough to fear losing." The rain poured harder. We stood there, broken family in a broken world. "I need to get Hana out of this rain," I said quietly. "She'll get sick." "Come home." He stepped forward. "Please, both of you, come home." "Home?" I laughed bitterly. "You kicked us out, Min-jae. You don't get to just—" I know I don't deserve—" His voice cracked. "But those men know where you are. You're not safe. Hana's not safe. Let me protect you. Even if you hate me, even if we're done, let me do that much." I wanted to say no, wanted to make him suffer like I'd suffered. But Hana was shivering, and those men knew where Tasha lived. "Fine," I said, "but we're sleeping in separate rooms." "Whatever you want." Relief flooded his face. "Whatever you need." The penthouse looked exactly the same, like time had frozen the moment we left. Hana's toys were still scattered across the living room. My coffee mug sat on the kitchen counter, cold coffee probably molded inside it. "I couldn't move anything," Minji said quietly, setting Hana down. "It felt wrong, like admitting you were really gone." I didn't respond. Couldn't. I carried Hana to her room, changed her into dry pajamas, tucked her into her princess bed. She was asleep before I finished the lullaby. When I came out, Min-jae was in the kitchen making tea, green tea with honey, my favorite. My chest ached. "Don't," I said. "Don't what?" "Don't act like we're okay, like you didn't rip my heart out and stomp on it." He set the teacup down. "I'm not acting like anything. I'm making you tea because you're cold and wet and probably in shock." "I've been in shock for 2 weeks, Min-jae. This is just Thursday." He flinched. "Good. I'm getting a new DNA test, a real one, from a lab Ji-won doesn't know about." "Cool, great. That'll fix everything." I laughed harshly. "That'll undo you looking at our daughter like she was a stranger. That'll undo you calling me a liar." "I know it won't." He slammed his hand on the counter. "I know I fucked up. I know Christ, Imani, I haven't slept in 2 weeks. Haven't eaten, can barely function. You think I don't know what I did?" "Then why?" I screamed. "Why didn't you just talk to me? Why didn't you ask me before you—" "Because I was terrified," he shouted back. "Terrified it was true. Terrified you'd been using me. Terrified I'd been stupid enough to fall for it." Silence crashed down between us. "You really think I'm capable of that?" My voice dropped to a whisper. "After everything? After 3 years of marriage? You really think I'd lie about our child?" His eyes closed. "No, but my father's voice in my head said yes, said I was weak, said you'd played me, and I—" He opened his eyes. They were red, wet. I listened to the ghosts instead of my heart. "Your father's been dead for 2 years, Min-jae." "I know, but his legacy isn't." He moved closer. "I was raised to be paranoid, to trust no one, to assume everyone has an angle. Breaking that programming isn't easy. I'm not asking for easy." Tears spilled down my cheeks. "I'm asking for faith, the same faith I had when I married into your world, when I accepted who you are, what you do. You're right." He reached up, hesitated. "Can I?" I should have said no, should have held my ground. but I was so tired, so broken. I nodded. He wiped my tears with his thumbs, cradling my face like I was made of glass. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so fucking sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. I know, but it's a start. He pressed his forehead to mine. Tell me how to fix it. Tell me what you need. I need you to believe in me, in us, even when it's hard, even when someone plants doubt in your head. I gripped his wrists. I need you to choose me, Minjai, every damn day. I do. I will. His phone rang. He cursed, pulled it out. His expression darkened. It's Sung-ho, emergency. Of course, because this was our life. Violence and chaos and never enough time. He answered. What? Pause. When? Pause. I'm on my way. He hung up, conflict written all over his face. There's a situation at the warehouse. Volkov's men are making a move. Go, I said, stepping back. Imani, go, I know how this works. I wrapped my arms around myself. We'll be here when you get back. He looked torn, devastated. I'll have guards outside the apartment. Don't open the door for anyone. I know the protocol. He kissed my forehead, quick, desperate, and left. I stood in that empty kitchen and cried until there was nothing left. The next morning, I woke to voices in the living room, Minjae's voice, and Tasha's? I stumbled out of the guest bedroom. I'd refused to sleep in our room and found Tasha sitting on the couch, coffee in hand, glaring at Minjae like she wanted to murder him. Oh, good, you're up, Tasha said. I was just explaining to your husband how lucky he is I don't carry a weapon. Tasha, what are you... Girl, you disappear for a night without telling me? I thought you were dead. She set her coffee down. I called, texted, was about to file a missing persons report when he finally answered your phone. I'm sorry. Everything happened so fast and... She was attacked, Minjae cut in. Russians, 3 of them. Tasha's eyes went wide. What? We're fine, I assured her. Minjae showed up and... Oh, he showed up? Tasha stood, marching over to Minjae. Despite being a foot shorter, she looked ready to fight. You mean he showed up after abandoning you for 2 weeks? After breaking your heart and traumatizing his daughter? That's showing up? Tasha. No, let her talk, Minjae said quietly. I deserve it. You deserve worse than words, but words are what I got. Tasha poked his chest. You don't get to do this. You don't get to throw her away and then swoop in playing hero. That's not how this works. I know. Do you? Do you really? She was on a roll now. Because from where I'm standing, you're the same as every other man who loved a black woman until it got complicated, until someone put doubt in your head, until you had to choose between us and your ego. That's not... It is! Tasha's voice cracked. You think Imani doesn't know what it means to be with you? You think she doesn't face judgment every day? What's a black woman doing with a Korean man? Is she with him for money? Do they even speak the same language? She deals with that shit constantly, but she chose you anyway. She loved you anyway. Minjae looked at me, stricken. Is that true? I looked away. It doesn't matter. It does matter. He moved toward me. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't want you to see it as a burden. I met his eyes. I wanted to just be. To love you without making it about race or culture or what people thought. But then you proved them right, didn't you? You proved that when it came down to it, you didn't trust me. That's not... He stopped, swallowed. You're right. Christ, you're right. Hana's door opened. She padded out in her pajamas, rubbing her eyes. Why is everyone yelling? We're not yelling, baby, I said quickly. Auntie Tasha just came to visit. Auntie Tasha! Hana launched herself at Tasha, who caught her and spun her around. Hey, my little princess, I missed you. Tasha hugged her tight, then looked at Minjae and me. You two need to talk, real talk, not this surface-level bullshit. So I'm taking Hana out for breakfast and the aquarium. You have 4 hours to figure this out. Tasha, you don't have to... 4 hours. She was already grabbing Hana's jacket. Come on, sweetie, let's go see some fish. They were gone in a whirlwind, leaving Min-jae and me alone in suffocating silence. So, he said finally, 4 hours. Guess so. More silence. Heavy. Painful. I got the new DNA results this morning, he said. Rushed them. She's mine. Obviously. 99.9% match. Obviously. Imani, please. He moved closer. I need you to look at me. Why? So you can break my heart again? But I looked up anyway. Met those dark eyes. I was raised by a monster, he said quietly. My father used to beat the weakness out of me, literally. Any time I showed emotion, showed vulnerability, his jaw clenched. He'd make sure I regretted it. Told me love was a liability, that trust was for fools, that the only person you could count on was yourself. I know your history, Min-jae, but you don't know what it's like to live with his voice in your head, constantly, questioning everything, twisting everything. He stepped closer. When I saw that fake test, it wasn't just doubt. It was confirmation of every horrible thing he ever told me. See, I was right. She used you. They all do. So you chose his voice over mine. Yes. The admission seemed to break him, and I'll regret that for the rest of my life. I wanted to stay angry, wanted to hold on to the pain, but seeing him like this, vulnerable, raw, real, cracked something in me. I loved you so much it scared me, he continued, because if you could hurt me, really hurt me, then he was right. Love was weakness, so when I thought you'd betrayed me, He exhaled shakily. I burned us down before you could. That's fucked up, Min-jae. I know. You need therapy. I know. Like serious therapy, not just talk to your wife therapy. I've already made an appointment. He pulled out his phone, showed me. Dr. Sarah Chen specializes in trauma and family dynamics. First session is Monday. I blinked. Wow. Okay. I'm trying, Imani. I know I destroyed your trust. I know it'll take time to rebuild. He moved closer still. But I'm asking, begging for the chance to try. And if I say no, pain flashed across his face, then I'll respect that, but I'll keep trying, keep proving, keep showing you that I choose you, I choose us, every damn day. The words I'd asked for last night. You hurt me, I whispered. I know. You hurt our daughter. I know. His voice broke. If you ever pull something like this again, I won't. I swear on everything I am, I won't. He took my hands. Give me a chance to make this right, please. I should have said no. Should have made him work harder, suffer more. But the truth was, I still loved him. Desperately. Stupidly. Completely. One chance, I said. You screw this up and I'm gone. For real this time. One chance is all I need. He pulled me into his arms, holding me like I might disappear. Thank you. God, thank you. I let myself sink into him, let myself feel safe for the first time in 2 weeks. But in the back of my mind, doubt whispered, can broken trust really be fixed? 2 days later, things were better. Careful, but better. Min-jae was trying, really trying. He came home for dinner every night, put Hana to bed, respected my space when I needed it, held me when I didn't. We were rebuilding, slowly, but Jiwon was still out there, still unpunished. We need to deal with her, I said one night after Hana was asleep. She can't just get away with this. Min-jae looked up from his laptop, his expression dark. I've been handling it. What does that mean? It means she's losing everything. Her family's business? I pulled our backing. They're bankrupt by next week. Her social standing? Rumors are spreading about her instability. Her engagement to that Japanese businessman fell through yesterday. He closed the laptop. She wanted to destroy you. Instead, she destroyed herself. That's ruthless. I'm a ruthless man, baby. You knew that when you married me. Yeah, but usually it's directed at people who aren't insane ex-fiancés. He almost smiled. She crossed a line, went after my family. That's unforgivable. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered cautiously. Yes? I watched his expression change. Darken. Harden. Where? Pause. I'm on my way. He hung up. That was the hospital. Jiwon tried to kill herself. She's asking for me. What? I stood. You're not seriously... I have to. He grabbed his jacket. Not for her, but I need to close this chapter. Make sure it's really over. I'm coming with you. Imani, I'm coming. I grabbed my purse. Tasha can watch Hana. I'm not letting you face her alone. He studied my face, then nodded. Okay, together then. St. Vincent's Hospital, 11:47 p.m. Jiwon looked terrible. Bandages on her wrists, hospital gown, hair matted. But her eyes, when they landed on me, burned with pure hatred. You brought her? She laughed bitterly. Of course you did. Jiwon, why did you do it? Minjae stood at the foot of her bed, distant, cold. Why destroy everything? Because you were supposed to be mine. She tried to sit up, winced. We were engaged. We had plans. And then she glared at me. This random black girl shows up and suddenly I'm nothing? Suddenly 4 years of our families planning our marriage means nothing. We didn't love each other, Minjae said flatly. It was a business arrangement. I loved you, she screamed. I loved you, and you threw me away for some diversity project. Watch your mouth. Minjae's voice went deadly. It's fine, I said, stepping forward. Let her talk. Let her get it all out. You don't deserve him, Jiwon hissed. You don't understand our world, our culture. You're an outsider. You're right, I said calmly. I am an outsider. I didn't grow up in your world. But you know what? I understand the only thing that matters. I love him, really love him. Not his money, not his power, not what our marriage could do for my family, just him. That's not... You faked a DNA test. You tried to destroy a little girl's family, a child, Jiwon, because you couldn't handle rejection. I moved closer. That's not love. That's obsession. That's sickness. She started crying, ugly, broken sobs. I just wanted him back. Well, you can't have him, I said simply. He's mine, our family is mine, and you need to move on. I can't, she whispered. I don't know how. That's not our problem anymore. Minjae took my hand. Get help, Jiwon. Real help. And stay away from my family. This is your only warning. We left her there, crying. As we walked down the hospital corridor, I felt something shift. Close. A chapter ending. You were incredible in there, Minjae said in the elevator. I was protecting my family. I squeezed his hand. That's what we do. The elevator opened to the parking garage. We stepped out and found ourselves surrounded by men with guns. Volkov stepped forward, smiling. Mr. Park, Mrs. Park, we meet again. Everything slowed down. Minjae pushed me behind him. I saw him reach for the gun under his jacket. I wouldn't, Volkov said. My men are faster, and your wife is very... exposed. What do you want? Minjae's voice was steady. Same thing everyone wants. Power, territory, respect. Volkov lit a cigarette. You've been a problem, Park. Time to remove problems. You won't make it out of this city alive, Minjae said. Maybe, but neither will you. Volkov raised his hand. Kill... Gunshots exploded through the garage, but not from Volkov's men, from behind them. Sung Ho and 20 of Minjae's guards poured in, weapons drawn. The Russians scattered. Chaos erupted. Minjae grabbed my hand. Run! We sprinted for his car. Bullets ricocheted off concrete. Minjae shoved me into the passenger seat, gunned the engine. We peeled out as the firefight raged behind us. Oh my God, I gasped. Oh my God! You're okay? You're safe. He was driving like a maniac, weaving through traffic. I'm getting you home. How did Sung-ho... I always have backup. Always. He glanced at me. I told you. I'll protect you. No matter what. My hands were shaking. Adrenaline crashed through my system. Is this ever going to stop? The violence? The danger? I'm working on it. He grabbed my hand. I'm transitioning the business. Going legitimate. It'll take time, but... Really? Really. For you. For Hana. For the life I want us to have. He brought my hand to his lips. I'm done living my father's life. Time to build my own. Tears streamed down my face. I love you. God, I love you so much. I love you too, baby. More than anything. He pulled into our building's garage. Now let's go home. To our daughter. To our life. The next few weeks were a blur. Min-jae kept his promise. Started transitioning the family business into legitimate enterprises. Real estate. Import/export. Tech investments. It wasn't easy. There was pushback. Threats. But he was determined. And he was present. Really present. Therapy helped. He started working through the trauma, the conditioning, the fear. Slowly, the walls came down. I'm learning to trust my heart, he told me one night in bed. Dr. Chen says I've spent so long in survival mode, I forgot how to just live, love, be vulnerable. How's that going? I asked, tracing patterns on his chest. Terrifying. He caught my hand, kissed my fingers. But worth it. You're worth it. We made love that night for the first time since the separation. Slow, gentle, reconnecting, healing. Afterwards, lying in his arms, I finally felt like we might actually make it. 1 month later. Mommy, I don't feel good. I looked up from my laptop. Hana was standing in the doorway of my home office, looking pale. Too pale. What's wrong, baby? I moved to her, pressed my hand to her forehead. You're burning up. My tummy hurts. She clutched her stomach. Really bad. Okay, let's get you to the doctor. I scooped her up, grabbed my phone, called Min-jae. Hey, Hana's sick. Fever and stomach pain. I'm taking her to Dr. Morrison. I'll meet you there, he said immediately. Leaving now. By the time we got to the pediatrician's office, Hana was worse. Lethargic. Crying. Dr. Morrison took one look at her and ordered immediate tests. It could be appendicitis, she said. We need to rule that out. I'm sending you to the ER. The ER. Those words sent ice through my veins. Min-jae met us at Mount Sinai. He burst through the doors looking frantic, found us in the exam room. How is she? He moved to Hana's bedside, brushing hair from her forehead. They're running tests, I said, my voice tight. They think it might be her appendix. Daddy, Hana whimpered. It hurts. I know, baby girl, I know. He kissed her forehead. But the doctors are going to make it better, okay? You're so brave. The next hour was torture. Tests, scans, waiting. Finally, a surgeon came in. It is appendicitis, he confirmed, and it's about to rupture. We need to operate now. Now? My voice cracked. Right now. She'll be fine, but we can't wait. They prepped her for surgery. Let us say goodbye before they wheeled her away. Mommy, I'm scared, Hana cried. I know, sweetie, but Mommy and Daddy will be right here when you wake up. I kissed her cheeks, her forehead, her hands. We love you so much. So much, Min-jae echoed, his voice thick. You're our whole world, Hana. They took her away, and we broke. I collapsed into a chair, sobbing. Min-jae sank down beside me, pulling me into his arms. We held each other and cried. She has to be okay, I gasped. She has to. She will be. She's strong, like her mother. He held me tighter. She's going to be fine. You don't know that. Yes, I do, because I can't. His voice broke completely. I can't lose her, Imani. I can't lose either of you. You're everything. You're all I have. We're not going anywhere, I whispered. We're all going to be fine. But I was terrified. Absolutely terrified. 3 hours later, the surgeon came out smiling. She did great. Surgery went perfectly. She'll make a full recovery. The relief was so intense, I nearly fainted. Min-jae caught me, held me up. Thank God, thank you, thank you. You can see her in recovery in about 30 minutes. We waited, holding hands, not talking, just existing together. When they finally let us in, Hana was groggy but awake. Mommy? Daddy? We're here, baby. I kissed her hand. You did so good. You're so brave. Am I gonna be okay? You're gonna be perfect, Min-jae said, his eyes wet. Absolutely perfect. She fell back asleep. We sat vigil on either side of her bed. I've never been so scared in my life, Min-jae said quietly. Not during deals, not during fights. Nothing compares to watching them take her away. Welcome to parenthood, I said with a weak smile. Constant terror disguised as love. How do you live with it? You just do, because the love is worth the fear. I looked at him across our daughter's bed. That's what I needed you to understand. That's what trust is, choosing love even when you're terrified. I understand now. He reached across, took my hand. I really do. Good. Tasha showed up an hour later with coffee and food. How's our girl? Good, great. Surgery went well. I hugged her. Thank you for coming. Where else would I be? She looked at Min-jae. You good? Better now, he said. Thank you for everything, for taking care of them, for calling me out, for being the friend Imani deserves. Damn right I am. But she smiled. You're welcome. Just don't fuck up again. I won't. You better not, because next time I really will carry a weapon. Despite everything, we laughed. 2 weeks later, Hana recovered beautifully. Kids were resilient like that. By the end of week 1, she was already running around demanding ice cream. Because I had surgery and I'm a hero. Hard to argue with that logic. Min-jae took 2 weeks off work, full-time dad mode. He made breakfast, played dress-up, watched Frozen 17,000 times without complaining. Watching him with her, seeing that pure love and devotion healed something in me. One night, after Hana was asleep, we sat on the balcony. City lights stretched below us, wine in hand, his arm around me. I've been thinking, he said, dangerous. He smiled. I want to renew our vows. I turned to look at him. What? Our wedding was rushed. Small, beautiful, but not what you deserved. He shifted to face me fully. I want to do it right this time. Big ceremony. Your family there. My family. Everyone we love. I want to stand in front of everyone and choose you. Publicly. Loudly. Permanently. Min-jae. And I want to add something to the vows. He took my hands. I vow to trust you, even when it's hard, even when old fears whisper. I vow to communicate, to talk before I assume, to choose us over my trauma. His eyes searched mine. What do you think? I think. Tears blurred my vision. I think that sounds perfect. He kissed me, deep, passionate, full of promise. I love you, Imani Park, my faith, my hope, my everything. I love you too, I whispered against his lips. My dangerous, complicated, beautiful man. Meanwhile, Tasha's subplot. So there's this guy, Tasha said over brunch one Saturday. I nearly spit out my mimosa. What? What guy? When did this happen? Remember Sung-ho? She tried to look casual, failed miserably. Min-jae's right-hand man. Oh my God, Sung-ho, keep your voice down. But she was blushing. It just happened. He's been checking on me, making sure I'm safe. We started talking and now you're dating? We've gone out twice. That's not dating. Tasha Marie Johnson, that's absolutely dating. She groaned. This is weird, right? It's weird. It's adorable. I grabbed her hand. Tell me everything. Start from the beginning. Leave nothing out. Okay, so remember when you and Min-jae got back together? Sung-ho called me to update me, and we just talked for 3 hours about everything. Life, family, Dreams. He's actually really funny and sweet. And those arms, Tasha. What? I'm just appreciating quality muscle tone. We dissolved into giggles. But seriously, she said, sobering slightly. Is this okay? I know he works for Minjae and things are complicated. Tasha, you deserve happiness. You've spent the last month taking care of me. Let someone take care of you for once. Yeah? Yeah, I squeezed her hand. Plus, I'm weirdly excited about double dates. Is that selfish? Extremely, but I love you anyway. 3 months later. The vow renewal. We chose the Brooklyn Botanic Garden, cherry blossoms in full bloom. 200 guests. My family flew in from Chicago. Minjae's extended family came from Korea. It was beautiful, perfect, everything I dreamed. I wore a custom gown, white with gold embroidery, African patterns woven throughout, honoring both sides of who we were, who we'd become together. Hana was the flower girl, taking her job very seriously. She threw petals with precision, glaring at anyone who walked through her petal path wrong. Our daughter is terrifying, Minjae whispered as we watched her. She gets it from you, I whispered back. Fair point. The ceremony was officiated by both a minister and a Korean elder, blending traditions. When it came time for vows, Minjae took my hands. Imani, he began, his voice strong. When I met you 3 years ago, I didn't know I was capable of love. Real love. The kind that changes you, saves you, makes you want to be better. He swallowed. I've made mistakes, huge ones. I let fear control me, let old wounds dictate new relationships. But you didn't give up on me, on us. You fought for our family when I couldn't. And I'm standing here today to promise I will never stop fighting for us again. Tears streamed down my face. I vow to trust you, always. To communicate, even when it's hard. To choose love over fear. To build a life that honors both our cultures, both our histories. To be the partner you deserve and the father Hana deserves. He squeezed my hands. You are my faith, Imani. The reason I believe in goodness, in second chances, in love that conquers everything. I love you, forever, completely, no doubts, no fears, just love. I could barely speak through my tears. Minjae, you are the bravest person I know, not because you're fearless, but because you face your fears. You do the work, you break cycles, you choose growth. I smiled through tears. I vow to stand beside you, to remind you who you are when old voices get loud, to love Hana with everything I have, to honor what we've built and what we're building. I paused. You're not your father. You're not your past. You're the man who makes me laugh, who protects fiercely and loves deeper, who's learning to be vulnerable. And I'm so proud to be your wife. I now pronounce you, again, husband and wife, the minister said with a smile. You may kiss your bride, again. Minjae cupped my face and kissed me like it was our first time and last time all at once. The crowd erupted in cheers. Hana yelled, "EW, gross!" which made everyone laugh. The reception dinner was incredible. Toasts were heartfelt. My father welcomed Minjae into our family officially. Minjae's uncle gave his blessing. It was unity, healing, hope. During dinner, I noticed Tasha and Sung-ho holding hands under the table, caught her eye, mouthed, "You better tell me everything later." She grinned. When it came time for toasts, Minjae stood. I want to thank everyone for being here, for supporting us, for believing in second chances. He looked at me. And I have one more surprise for my wife. Minjae, what? He pulled out an envelope. Inside this is the deed to the Brooklyn Cultural Center. It's yours to run, to build programs, to connect communities. He smiled. I know how much cultural exchange means to you, how much you want to build bridges, so build them. I couldn't breathe. What? It's yours, baby, your dream. Let's make it real. I burst into tears, happy ones, and kissed him hard. The crowd cheered again. "Okay, now I have a surprise," I said, pulling back, looked at him, at Hannah, at all our loved ones. "I'm pregnant." The silence was deafening. Then, "You're what?" Minjae's eyes went wide. "Pregnant, 8 weeks, surprise." He lifted me off my feet, spinning me around, laughing and crying at once. "We're having another baby, really, really." "I'm gonna be a big sister?" Hannah shrieked. "I'm gonna be a big sister." Chaos. Beautiful, joyful chaos. Everyone was hugging, crying, celebrating. Minjae set me down gently, pressed his forehead to mine. "You've given me everything," he whispered. "Absolutely everything." "We gave each other everything," I corrected. "That's how this works." 6 months later, baby Junho Park was born on a Tuesday morning. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect. Hannah was obsessed with him, constantly wanting to help, which mostly meant stealing his pacifiers and trying to share her toys. "Hannah, the baby can't play with Legos," Minjae explained for the 5th time. "He's too little." "But he needs to learn," she insisted. I laughed from the couch, Junho nursing peacefully. "She's not wrong. Early education is important." "You're not helping," Minjae said, but he was smiling. That smile, the real one, the one that reached his eyes, was becoming more frequent. Therapy was working. Business was stable. Life was good. Really, genuinely good. Tasha and Sungho got engaged 3 months ago. She'd said yes while simultaneously calling him an idiot for proposing at a gas station, but the giant ring on her finger said she didn't really mind. "We're doing a double baby shower," Tasha announced one day, "because yes, I'm also pregnant. Surprise." "What?" I screamed. "When were you going to tell me?" "I just did. Keep up." Our kids would grow up together. Best friends, family. One evening, after both kids were asleep, Minjae and I sat on the balcony, our spot, our ritual. "Remember when you thought you couldn't love?" I asked, leaning into him. "I was an idiot." "A hot idiot, but yeah." He laughed. "Remember when you took a chance on a dangerous man in a club?" "Also idiotic." I looked up at him. "Best decision I ever made, though." "Even after everything? The pain? The separation?" "Especially after everything." I cupped his face. "Because we fought for this. We chose this. Every day, that makes it real. That makes it worth it." He kissed me softly. "I love you, Imani Park. My faith, my family, my future." "I love you too," I whispered. "My complicated, beautiful, perfectly imperfect man." We sat there as the city glittered below. 2 people from different worlds who'd built a bridge between them, who'd survived storms and come out stronger. "What are you thinking?" Minjae asked. "That I'm happy, really, truly happy." I smiled, and that our story isn't a fairy tale. It's better, because it's real, messy, earned. "To new beginnings," he said, raising his wine glass. "To new beginnings," I echoed, clinking my glass against his. "And to love that fights, that grows, that chooses every single day." We drank, laughed, held each other under the stars. Somewhere in the city, a baby cried. A couple fought. Someone fell in love for the first time. Life continued, complicated, beautiful, real, and we faced it together, always together. Epilogue. 1 year later, the Brooklyn Cultural Center opened to a crowd of 500. Politicians, community leaders, families, kids. My dream brought to life. "You did it," Minjae said, standing beside me as we cut the ribbon. Hannah on his shoulders, Junho in my arms. "We did it," I corrected. "All of us." Inside, the center buzzed with life. Korean language classes in one room, African dance in another, cooking classes, art exhibits, music, everything I dreamed. My parents stood with Minjae's uncle, talking and laughing, barriers broken, bridges built. Tasha waddled over, 7 months pregnant, Sung-ho supporting her. "This is incredible, sis. You should be so proud." "I am." I looked around at everything we'd built. So proud. That night, after the celebration died down, our family went home. Both kids asleep in the car, Min-jae driving, me in the passenger seat. "This is it," I said softly. "What is?" "Everything we fought for, everything we almost lost. It's right here, right now." He reached over, took my hand. "Best fight I ever had." "Same." We pulled into our building, took our sleeping kids upstairs, put them to bed, changed into pajamas, collapsed onto our couch. "I'm exhausted," I groaned. "Me too." He pulled me against him. "But it's a good exhausted." "The best kind." We sat in comfortable silence. Years ago, I'd walked into a club and met a dangerous man. Today, I was living a beautiful life with my husband, my partner, my choice. "Hey, Min-jae." "Yeah, baby?" "Thank you for not giving up on us, on yourself. Thank you for fighting when I couldn't." He kissed my temple. "For being my faith when I had none." "Always, always," he echoed. And there, in our home, with our children sleeping nearby, we existed. Loved, thrived. Not perfect, not easy, but real. So beautifully, messy, wonderfully real. Love isn't about perfect people finding each other. It's about imperfect people choosing each other, again and again and again. It's about facing fears, breaking cycles, building bridges. It's about trust earned, forgiveness given, growth chosen. Min-jae and Imani's story isn't a fairy tale. It's better. It's real. And real love fights. Real love grows. Real love forgives. Real love chooses every single day to new beginnings, to second chances, to love that conquers all. The end.